Morning everybody. Today we're going to look at Ohm's law in a series circuit. Up in the corner here I've written Ohm's law. I equals E over R. Remember the I is for intensity of current or ampacity. E is for voltage or electromotive force, and R is for the resistance against that force. Ohm's law said that the current in a circuit is directly proportional to the voltage in a circuit and inversely proportional to the resistance in that circuit, and is demonstrated through that formula. And we'll get a look at how that actually applies to a series circuit.
Let's go ahead and solve this circuit, and then we'll see how Ohm's law applies to it. I'm looking around for any two values in these t's, and I can't find them. So I have to use laws of a series circuit to find our total. I have 10 ohms, 20 ohms, and 30 ohms. That gives me 60 ohms total. And with the 60 ohms total, I now have enough that I can solve the supply total T. 60 volts divided by 60 ohms will give me 1 amp. So I know that I have 1 amp flowing around this series circuit, and the series circuit laws tells me that 1 amp flowing into the circuit will be the same as 1 amp flowing out of the circuit, and there's 1 amp at every T around the way. So each resistor also gets or sees 1 amp of current flow. Now I have two numbers at each one of these. I can figure out that there's 10 volts there, 20 volts there, and 30 volts there. That's from Ohm's law as well, because E equals I times R. Let's look at the bottom one. I've changed the values slightly, and we will see that here I've doubled the resistance in each one of my 3 resistors. So again, I look around and try to find two values, and I don't have them, but I know that if I add 20, 40, and 60, it will give me R total. In this case, 120 ohms. And 60 divided by 120 ohms is 0.5 of an amp. Because I total is 0.5 of an amp, each one of the resistors also sees 0.5 of an amp, and now I have two numbers at each one of my T's. I can go around. 0.5 times 20 will give me 10 volts. 0.5 times 40 will give me 20 volts. And 0.5 times 60 will give me 30 volts. Again, I double check each one of my voltages added up should give me the total. So 10 plus 20 plus 30 gives me 60 volts. And I do have 60 volts. The difference between these two circuits is that here I had 1 amp equals 60 volts divided by 60 ohms, gave me that 1 amp. Here, when I had the same voltage, 60 volts, but I doubled the amount of resistance in that circuit, I now ended up with half the amperage. So you can see that Ohm's law works and that the current is directly proportional to the voltage divided by the resistance.